more or less. Or if you can't get it, you could look with someone else. It's kind of fun to play with, though, this GeoGebra. So to get rid of this grid line, if you have a PC, do you see this teeny little triangle over here? See, there's a teeny little triangle over on the outside. And if you click on that teeny little triangle, this little menu comes up. Does that work on your phone? Is that?
On Mac, it's a small thing at the top right.
There's a small thing on a Mac. It's a small thing on the top right, but you want to click on what says geometry, because that makes it so that you're just really using the geometry tools. Okay, and when you do that, you get a blank screen that looks like that. Do you see that? You guys able to do that? Most of you? Okay. This is not, I'm not going to collect this or anything. It's just not vital that you get everything, you know, this time around. But that's where you get your different views of GeoGebra. And then up here is a line tool. Okay. So what I would like you to do is draw a line. Okay. So you can you go here and there's line tool, segment tool. So go and make yourself a line, and all you have to do is do that, then you get a line. Yes? You got it? Johnny? Doing it? Okay. And then make another line that intersects that line. Doesn't matter where you put it. Okay? So you have two lines. And then put a point at the intersection. So you go up here to the point tool. Okay? Can you label points? Points. You just go up here to the point tool, and you click, both things will highlight when you get to that intersection, and put a point at the intersection. So there you have a point there. Yes?
Yeah.
Everyone's done that? And if you drag things around, watch, if you drag things around, those lines, that point stays on those lines. You could drag this thing around, you could drag that thing around. So basically you have a set of 4 angles. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, now, I still haven't quite got this totally wired, but we're going to measure some angles. Any question? Everyone's with me? You're with me there, Ashley? Yeah? You're good? Okay. So to measure an angle, you grab this thing right here which says angle. First you want to click in the white space. Using your arrow tool, you want to click in the white space to make sure nothing is selected, okay? And then you go in order and you click, it says select 3 points or 2 lines. Let me see. I haven't tried the 2 lines thing yet. So if I click on this line and that line, I want it, that's not going to, let's click on 3 points, okay? So I'm going to click on this point. I get my angle tool, and I say select angle, and I click on, I'm not sure which direction I have to go. No, I went the wrong direction. Okay, so I'm going to edit, undo. So you want to get, I'm trying to measure this angle right here. Okay, so I'm going to click on this right point, then I'm going to click on this point, and that didn't work. Okay, let's try it. Let me try one more time. Click, 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 and it should measure that angle. Do you guys get it? So you want to measure this angle here, not the reflex angle, which would be the big angle outside. You just want to measure this angle right here. And if you drag your cursor around, okay, drag your points around, that angle changes, right? See that? Isn't that cool? Okay. And then, so that angle changes. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to measure this angle over here, okay? The one that's next to it. And so if I click on, and again, I'm not sure, do I go right to left? Is that counterclockwise? Or that's clockwise, right? I get confused with how you're supposed to measure, but let's just try and see what happens if I click on this point. Then that point, that's right, that's what I'm trying to do. And this point, and I get this other angle over here. See that other angle? See that? Whoops. And if I drag this around, you can see those angles met. The other thing you could do, you could click on the measurement of the angle so you could see it more clearly and bring it outside. Isn't that cool? I'm on the angle tool, but if I drag them around, okay, and now I can see those two angles. What do you think is true about those two angles? Come on. They add up to 180, right? Because this makes a straight line. To make sure of that, watch this cool thing I kind of was playing with last night. I'm still not perfected at it. But if you go to spreadsheet like this, the spreadsheet pops up. And did I click on two things? I just want this spreadsheet, right? I don't know why the grid didn't show up, but that's okay. So then I could click on, if you click on this angle, I right click and it says record to spreadsheet. And it puts that angle up here. Value of B, we'll just call that angle B, which is this angle right here. Okay? And then I'm going to click on this angle over here. Okay? And I go record to spreadsheet, and it puts that in as angle A. That's a beta, alpha. They use Greek letters, which you usually use for angles. Okay? And then the cool thing in this, you could have the spreadsheet do this. If you click on f of x, if I go to C, and I click on f of x, and I go to this thing, sum, a sum like this, it adds up those two angles. Let me see if that works. But first, I think you have to drag this around. Oh, never mind. So what I did, I just dragged my angle around. That's where all those different numbers come from. But I could sum those angles up to see if they really are 180. And the way you do that is you go like, let me remember. You go like this, and then you click f of x, and then you go to sum, and then what you have to do is kind of drag. No, I'm going to get this. Go ahead. I was doing it last night. Okay. You go like this. No, that's not what I wanted.
Click and drag down.
What?
Just click and drag down.
I know, but first I have to sum up those two. Shoot. Over here, I want the sum of these. No. I did it last night. Sum. Sum. Okay, one more check. A, B2. Select a set of cells. Okay. Sum. There. That worked. See that? So I select a set of cells and then I went to sum. So if I go here, select a set of cells, and then I go to sum. There it is. And if I drag that down, that adds up all those numbers, and those are always going to be 180. Doesn't that get it? Okay. And if I drag my cursor around, it'll add more data to my, like, it goes super fast, but it's measuring all these angles. But if I measure all those angles, the sum should always be 180. So let's see if I could drag that down. See if all those sums, see it, so it's basically it's using that formula as adding up those two things, right? That's the linear pair conjecture, okay? So that says, you should write this down, okay? If two angles are a linear pair, then They
Equal 180.
add to 180, okay? So I'm going to give you a conjecture sheet next week where we're going to list all the conjectures, but I think this is conjecture C1, okay? We'll just call it conjecture. Conjecture, linear pair conjecture. If two angles form, and I think you guys already knew that, but it's kind of neat to see it, a linear pair, they sum to 180 degrees. All right? Linear, if two angles form a linear pair, they sum to 180. Got it? We'll do a couple examples in a minute after I go to the next. Can we go back to GeoGebra? Is that okay? I'm going to go back to GeoGebra because it's fun. Or I think I'll have you play with it more on Monday because it's cool. Okay? So now I'm gonna get rid of my spreadsheet. Geometry, back to geometry. Get rid of my spreadsheet. So now what I'd like you to do is measure this angle here and this angle here. And how do we, clockwise. Which way is clockwise? I'm going to try going this point, this point, this point.
And the other way.
The other way? Let me just try this way. No, I didn't get the angle to. Select 3 points or 2 lines. Okay. There I go. No, that's the right way. So I just measured this angle right here. I'm going to drag that and show you this angle right there. Okay? Then I'm going to go, they want clockwise. It looks like they want clockwise. So we're going to go here, angle. Oh, I'm going to click on this. Is that clockwise? That's clockwise, right? Clockwise, clockwise. There we go. And I'm going to get this angle here. What appears to be true about those angles where the lines cross? What's true about this angle here and this angle here? They're equal, congruent. This angle here, this angle here. What you want to do is drag your points around, okay, and make sure that it remains true. See that? 45.1, 45.51, 134.49, 134.49. Yeah? No? Maybe? Yes? Let me get my tool so I can, whoops, sorry. I want to mark on here, so. Come on, let me write on here. Why can't I write on there? Can I write on there with my tool? There we go. Hello. I'm writing things. Okay? So this angle here is congruent to this angle here is congruent to this angle there. You see that? This angle here is congruent to that angle there. Okay? These angles, you guys, did we talk about what? Yeah, we talked about these. What are these angles called? Vertical angles. Okay? So that's your next conjecture, vertical angles. Vertical angle conjecture. Conjecture. That's a J. J. Vertical angles are congruent. Okay? Vertical angles are congruent. And now I'm going to do a little proof of that. Okay? Proof. If I accept that linear pairs are congruent, okay? So let's call this over here angle 1. I'm going to call this angle 1. This is angle 2. This is angle 3. and this is angle 4. What do you know about angle 1 and angle 2? Angle 1 plus angle 2, thank you, Drake, or Kareem, sorry, okay, add to 180, okay? Angle 1 plus angle 2 add up to 180. How about angle 4 plus angle 2? What do those add up to? 4 and 2. What do those two have to add up?
180.
Those are also 180 because those are what? Y. What are those?
Or a linear pair.
Those are linear pairs, okay? Linear pair conjecture, which I'm allowed to use because I kind of accept that to be true. I can't accept the fact that vertical angles are true, are congruent too, but I'm just proving it to show you. So 1 plus 2 is equal to 180, and 4 plus 2 is equal to 180. What has to be true about 1 plus 2 and 4 plus 2? If they're both equal to 180, what's got to be true about these two angles added together and these two angles added together? Well, yeah, they're 360, but they're equal to each other, okay? So if this is 180 and this is also 180, then it follows that, so I'm using my deductive reasoning now, angle 1 plus angle 2 is equal to angle 4 plus angle 2, right? So what I'm trying to prove here is that angle 1 is congruent to angle 4. Prove, so prove V, right? That angle 1 is congruent to angle 4. You know angle 1 and 2 added together equals 180. You know that 4 and 2 is also equal to 180. Therefore, 1 plus 2 has to equal 4 plus 2. Can anyone see a way that I can get 1 equal to 4? What could I do to both sides of that equation? What could I take away? Use algebra. What can I do? So see angle 2 is in both equations? So if I subtract, okay, minus angle 2 from this side, minus angle 2 from this side, I get that angle 1 is equal to angle 4, and that's called subtraction property, okay? Subtraction. Subtraction is kind of a messy proof, but I'm just kind of equality. I'm just trying to show you why it works, okay? And this step we did here was called substitution. Substitution. Since this is equal to this is equal to this, then I could substitute this in for 180 and get this, end up with that equation. So that's a proof of that y vertical angles are congruent. Isn't that cool? I think this is cool. Do you guys like the GeoGebra thing? Kind of cool. Yeah. All right. So I'm just going to give you like 2 examples, and then you guys can start on the homework, I think. Okay? So say I have a triangle. They love to give you pictures that look like this. I'm going to get a fresh sheet of paper. I'm going to get a blank sheet of paper, okay? I'm going to draw some lines. They'll see some homework problems like this. And then they'll say, okay, this angle here is 110 degrees. 110 degrees. This angle here is 90 degrees. This angle here is 50 degrees. Is that possible? That won't work. 70, 50. I'm going to change that. I'm going to change it so it makes sense. Okay. Whoops. Undo. I want to get rid of this. Little eraser. Still did that. One more try. So say this angle in here is, that's 50. Say this angle here, even though it doesn't look like it, is 60 degrees. And they'll say find angle A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. Could you do that? Could you find all those other angles? What's angle A gotta be?
50.
No. What's true
Oh,
left?
sorry, 70.
That's gotta be 70, right? What's angle C gotta be? 70. What's angle B gotta be? 110, and so on. This angle would be 60, right? What would this angle here be? 120. This angle would be, if that's 50, this is
130.
130. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
This is 130. Yeah, that makes sense. So this is going to be how much? 50, and so on. So you can find all the angles in it. Okay? Right? Pretty easy. What if I saw something that looks like this, which you may, say I have something going like that, and then I have something going like, get arrows on one side, something going like this, and I say that this is A, B, C, D, and this is 2x minus 30. 2x minus 30. And this is x. Okay? And they say find the measure of angle ABD. Could you do that?
Yeah.
What do these two have to add up to get? Who could give me an equation involving these two angles? Go ahead, George.
2x minus 30 plus x equals
Right.
180.
2x minus 30 plus x equals 180, right? So I put these together, I get 3x minus 30 equals 180. I add 30 to both sides, plus 30, plus 30. 3x equals 210. What's x equal to?
70.
X equals 70. So this angle here is 70. What's this angle, which is ABD, have to be? You don't even have to plug in 70. You could just do it because they're supplementary, right? So what's that angle got to be, David? 110, right? Okay? Easy enough, not horrible stuff. Okay, I think that's pretty much all I got for you. Okay, so do you have any questions? Linear pair, vertical angle. Monday we talked about corresponding angles. All right, so your homework